deep breaths. Real deep breaths, just to kind of relax yourself, right? And then walk in. And then if you can walk in with the understanding, like I said, they want you to get the job. You may not get it, but they're hoping that you get the job. So there's no really reason to be nervous. There is a reason, you can be a little nervous, but if you know your material, whatever you're auditioning with, so like if I had to audition for this play and there was a big speech, I'm gonna have that memorized, cold. I could do it backwards. Because then when I'm nervous, I can rely on the fact that I know the material and then I can do it. So sometimes, the nervousness outside of the room is just relaxing yourself, and the nervousness inside the room is knowing your material. You can only really be nervous if you don't know your material and you haven't done your homework. Then you're not going to get the job, and then you're nervous because you're going to do bad. But if you've done your homework, then you're good in the room, and if you just relax yourself before going into the room, then you're good. So that would be my advice. But you had a question?
Sorry.
You had a question?
So, yes, it's kind of complicated. So, when I'm extremely exhausted, or my brain is just like somewhere else, I can play Bohemian Rhapsody on the piano and simultaneously either recite O for Music Fire or All the World Stage. But I have no control over it. And I can't do that when I'm fully functioning. Do you have anything like that where it's just like your brain goes into some space and you just like have a thing and it just like happens?
Yeah, I mean that's good that it can do that because then it'll do it for other things, right?
Yeah,
it just won't be that. But I don't know. I think that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Or you? I mean, I'm trying to get your question. Is it something you're looking to control or not?
Is there anything you can do when you're just like not fully like? Do you get to that stage where it's like you know something so well that it's just ingrained into you, and like if so, what was it, or like why? I don't know.
Well, I try to like go over my lines. Like if I can go over them 10,000 times, then I really know them. But then I also try to do them when I'm walking, or when I'm doing dishes or cleaning the house. So what you might be able to do is find other ways of doing it. So you're saying you play piano, but do it doing something else. Like walk backwards and do it. I mean, it's good to know something that well, because then you can perform it so many different ways. But if I were you, I would try to know everything that I need to know for the role, as well as you know those two speeches that come right out of you. Because if you can do that, you can feel so free. Because obviously, when you do that, you probably feel so free and relaxed. It's just you don't even have to think about it. So ultimately, you want to be on stage not thinking about everything you have to do. So if you can know the other things that you have to do on stage, as well as you know those other two pieces, that, I would say for you, that would be a goal. I'd say, I want to know this as well as I know these other things. As good as I could be with these other things. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Any more? You ladies have questions? Questions?
I just wanted to thank you for the wonderful performance.
Well, thank you. You don't have a question? Are you an actress?
So I'm going to help her with the question. She's also a singer. And
You're
we
a
want to
singer?
make connections with her singing and beginning acting.
So you should be in some musical.
Yes. And she wants to pursue it in college.
What's your favorite music? What music, if you had your druthers, if you had any choice in the world, what music would you do? Because they're going to do another one of those on Broadway, like a revival. I mean, you might be too young to read it, but they keep doing that. Have they done it out here? Have you ever seen it?
Not as
I saw it in the movies too. Well, you should try to find if they're doing it somewhere. Maybe they're doing it and you can audition for it. Why not?
We've got two teenage, one in Berkeley and one in Lafayette. I'll tell Miss Awele. Because the one in Berkeley doesn't really get shows.
Go for it. Why not? But you like musicals more than straight plays?
I like them both.
Yeah. And what about you?
Well, we were walking somewhere at 7. You can Google that on your phone.
Wow.
Well, they were getting their questions answered. So
I'll look it up.
Theirs, and then we can go.
Not Hamlet, but
Been there for quite some time and
he had more lines.
I just want to catch my assistant.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That was a lot of fun because he was this kind of guy who did whatever he wanted to do. Whatever he could dream up, he would do it. So he had no limits. He had no bounds. So he was dangerous, but he was also amazing. So it was amazing to play this kind of character who had no boundaries. You know what I mean? Whatever he wanted from people, he just took. And he believed that God had given him all this special ability, that he was going to be a king, that he was going to be a ruler. And it's a true story. He actually ended up ruling 3/4 of the known world in the 12th century. So it was just fascinating to play this kind of person whose imagination was so vast that he saw his greatness when he was a child, and he told people about it and said, "You're going to be working for me, you know, and you might as well start working for me now, because you will be a subject of mine. Don't fight against me. If you fight against me, you'll lose, because God has given me this gift. I'm destined to be a champion." So to play that kind of a character, you know, with all the African sensibility that I wanted to put into it, just empowered me. So that was it. Tamberlane. If you get a chance, read it.
So Nair is a senior. She's getting ready to graduate. I have her as a first-year drama student. But she wants to audition to try to sing to get into a program in college or in music education. What advice can you say in her preparation these couple of months to think about? Because breath is very important for singing. I've not had a chance to hear her sing yet. But church, I know, is the background.
I can tell. I would say, you're going to be auditioning for things? I mean, for schools?
Well, there's a grant and a scholarship that's coming up in January that I know about. So I want her to
like
begin.
A musical theater scholarship?
Well, it's Performing Arts Department, and they've sent me things in the past. So if you have drama students, if you have singers or dancers, we would love for them to audition.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, I would say, you know, if you can find a coach or someone to work with.
I'm working on that now.
Yeah. And pick out the songs that you like, or characters who are singing the songs that you have a connection to. Not someone you don't have a connection to, but someone you say, yeah, that person's like me, or I see myself like that person. So then it makes it easier, right? The connection's made, as opposed to someone that you would look at and say, no, I can't imagine doing that, although I like the song, but I can't imagine being that character. So pick a character that's close to you, that you feel is like you, or you're like them, and then really work on the song. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a singer, so I can't tell you anything about singing. I can tell you the more emotionally committed you can be to whatever you're doing, the more engaging it is. Just naturally. You have two people. One's engaged.
You guys ask your questions, and it's after 7.
Totally
I need her to get hers answered too.
And then someone's not engaged. You're always
wait 2 minutes, please.
Your eye's always going to go
But
to
your
the one that's
questions
really
were asked after
engaged
7.
or really committed.
And he took
so whatever you do,
so
commit
she
yourself
knows
to it,
that.
100%. And I always think, like, as far as breathing is concerned, if you can put your mind in the place where the character is, if you can just concentrate on that what if this was happening to me, that will help. You know, but the bottom line is practice, right? You have to work on these things so much, even more than you think you would need to, right? Because the competition that you're going to be up against is tough. There are other younger, talented women like you who are just as good from other parts of the country that are going to compete against you for this grant or scholarship. So you have to work really hard. It's just not going to be easy. Anytime you do something and it's easy, it's just not worth it. Nothing that's easy is worth actually having. So the harder you can work to obtain your goal, the better off. But I would find those songs, find 2 or 3 songs, one that's serious, maybe one that's a little funny, and learn them really well and work with a coach and keep working, and then go and apply. And if it doesn't happen, if you apply or you audition and it doesn't work, there's no reason to give up. It just means, oh, well, that didn't work. I'll move on to the next thing. But I can assure you, if you work really hard at it, you'll fall somewhere close to being successful. It may not be with that thing, but it might be with something else. So it's really important, like, to learn how to be disciplined and to work hard. Because those kinds of things that you do will be such service to you as you get older, when you become an adult. And when how old are you now?
17.
Yeah, so when
This
you're
is
like
the part of her
27.
college essay. Her first paragraph is about work ethic. So
Yeah, it's so
ties in.
important, and a lot of people don't learn work ethic, and then later on in life they can't get the things that they want. But if the earlier you can learn work ethic, the more successful you'll be in your life, whether it's going to be as a performer or whatever. Work ethic is like the first thing, and people will know if you work hard or not. And because people see people all the time that don't work, that want to get things and haven't worked hard enough for them. But people will always be on your side if you work hard. People will always want to work with you if you work hard. So just keep that in mind. But get the 2 songs or 3